Welcome back to another Post Media Ottawa Senators panel. I'm Bruce Garrioch, pleased to be joined today by former National Hockey League goalie and ESPN analyst Kevin Weeks. And Kevin, as I speak to you today, the Ottawa Senators rank last in the National Hockey League in save percentage from their goaltenders. And on Saturday night, after a 6-5 overtime loss to the Montreal Canadiens at home, on a night they were supposed to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the franchise at the Canadian Tire Center, Jake Sanderson said, "You need more than 10 saves to win a game," after Levi Merelainen, in his 11th consecutive game, gave up 6 goals on 19 shots. Can you sit in Levi Merelainen's stall for me right now and tell me what you think of those comments from your teammate?
Yeah, I'm not laughing to make light. I'm laughing because I'm laughing because I could feel the goosebumps from that situation. Look, for any goalies put so much pressure on themselves, and I'd say ourselves that played a position such a long time.
Yeah, you can say ourselves.
Okay, thank you. Honestly, like I remember the Ottawa International Christmas Tournament at the PN Sportsplex in 1984, and I was 9 at the time, and I remember we were playing against the PN in a game, and I let in a bad goal. We ended up winning the tournament, but I let in a bad goal. And I just remember how I felt. And I remember that like it was yesterday. I'm 50 now. And I remember that like it was yesterday. And the reason why I tell that story is you put so much pressure on yourselves as goalies to deliver. You want to perform for your team. You know the significance of the position. You know how critical it is for you to play well every game, every shift, to give your team a chance. And that's minor hockey. Let alone then when I got to the NHL, but it never changes. It never changes. So I think for Merelainen, it's probably something that stings. You know, it hurts. If I could put myself in his shoes and remember instances where I had those types of things, it's hurtful. But I think you then try to have to just channel that and say, okay, I understand where he's coming from. Technically, what he's saying is right. It hurts, it stings. This happened to me publicly, but I got to get back to practice, get to the Sensplex, and just try as hard as I can. Just continue working on my craft. He's a young goalie. Yeah, I really like the way he played last year. And you just highlighted it, Bruce. The fact that he's played 11 straight at the NHL at this age for him, based on not having played a boatload of games in the American League before, this is a lot to ask of him. It's a unique circumstance. So it's hurtful. If I'm him, I'm hurt for sure. But I understand where Jake's coming from. And in the case of Merelainen, you just got to get back on the horse and just keep working. That's all you can do.
And you know, look, I said this to Steve Sales. He's a 23-year-old who had an excellent run last year when Linus Ullmark was hurt.
Absolutely.
This is. I think you know goalies way better than me. I think for this guy, this is a bump on the road for a guy who's been put in an unenviable position.
For sure. And, you know, what's hard is, you know, you're looking at that pragmatically. You're being very objective about it. For a lot of people, they're not looking through your lens. It's, okay, the Sens are playing tonight. I came from Manitic. I got my 2 daughters. We're coming to the game. We need more, right? And that's understandable. And then, you know, whatever. Say you have corporate partners in the building and, you know, they come from the tech area of Canada. They come to the game. They spend the time. They want it to be a good experience. So all of that is understandable. And then internally, like I said, the responsibility of the players, your teammates. Look, when you're playing Adam, forget Adam. You're playing for Gloucester Rangers. You're in Pee Wee. Let alone now you're playing in the NHL. You're playing for the Senators in the nation's capital. So it's all of that pressure that goes with that. And I think sometimes people kind of overlook that in terms of the demands and just exactly what you're saying. This is a kid. I was so impressed by him last year. He had the 3 shutouts. I thought he was really calm in the net last year. You could see how patient he was for a young goalie. But as you said, this is a bump in the road, and a lot of progress for anybody isn't linear. You know, it's not always linear. It's not always just a steady climb. Sometimes you get some little dips, and this is a little dip for him. But at the same time, he's getting some very valuable experience and playing a lot of games in the league that he otherwise might not have had Linus Ullmark been in uniform.
Well, and I guess that leads me to our next subject. Linus Ullmark is on personal leave. Mm-hmm. He's back with the team skating, and the hope is that he will play soon. What are your thoughts on Allmark right now?
All right, so let me
It's
just
a
give you
tough.
full,
It's a tough one.
for
Like,
sure. Let me just give you full context. I've been an Allmark fan since he was in Buffalo. I think Buffalo and too many good players and high quality players they let slip through their fingers. We know that that's pretty well documented at every position,
yeah,
be it Ryan O'Reilly, be it Eichel, be it Reinhart, be it Montour. I don't want to. I'm not sloughing on the people in Buffalo, but they let too many good players, and you can add. Obviously, you can add Allmark to that. He's big, he's skilled, he's talented. I think he really flourished when he went to Boston. And when Allmark's on his game, I'd say he has arguably the best glove hand in the league when he's on his game. He scoops pucks, he catches pucks, he tracks pucks, and it's a very big part of his game. But you mentioned him being out due to personal leave. I've spoken to some people that are close to the situation. It's one that's very delicate for him. He needed time. I respect that. That's never easy. We all go through, stuff in our lives. Every one of us, every one of you fans that's tuning in, we all go through stuff. He needed the time and space. Unfortunately, that got even worse by, some of the comments online. It was made worse to kind of compound that.
yeah,
I think for Linus, if I'm Linus's teammate, I'm saying, listen, when you're on your A game, you're a top 7 goalie in the league. When you're on your A game, you handle the puck well. You're big, you're skilled, you're talented. As I mentioned, you got a good glove hand. All we want you to do is when you get back into the net and you resume playing, just play your game. You don't have to do anything any extra. Just play your game. He's technically sound. He has athleticism. He has experience. He's got a good glove hand. Now he's playing in Canada's nation's capital. Let's not forget he played in Boston for an original 6 team, so he can carry some of that experience into being in Ottawa and just play your game. Don't try to do anything extra. And I think if he does that, just one step at a time, he can rediscover his form. And the Sens badly need it because the Sens probably figured, Bruce, you know this. You've been a voice of the team and the sport in that area for a long time. When they picked up Linus Ullmark, they were probably like, gosh, we're good now.
yeah.
Now we
got a Vezina Trophy winner.
We got a Vezina Trophy winner. We're good.
Yeah,
Craig Anderson, Andy, the man. Andy's not coming back. Poor Ray Emery, bless his soul. We know what happened to Ray Emery in the end. He's no longer with us on the earth. Patty Laleem's not coming back. The great Dominator's not coming back. So we now have solved this conundrum in our crease by getting Linus Ullmark. That was the thought, and I understand why. So I think for him now, it's just one foot in front of the other. Hopefully he gets himself to a good place mentally. And when he gets back in the net, just play his game and just look on building on his game. Because if he can, if Linus Ullmark can even be the B+, B- version of Linus Ullmark, that's a really good goalie for this team.
How does he shake off that rust? Because he skated by himself for a week, joined the team on Friday. Let's say he, best case scenario, plays Thursday in Columbus. How can he shake off that rust?
Literally, Bruce, is one shot at a time.
Yeah.
It sounds, and for a lot of our listeners, unless your sons or daughters play the position, or your granddaughter or grandson plays the position, unless they play it's actually one shot at a time. When you are out for an absence, any type of absence, be it injury, be it personal, be it a combination, be it anything, a suspension being anything. One thing we know about the sport is the NHL doesn't wait on anybody. The carnival keeps going. It keeps going. So now when you're out, to get back, extra reps in practice, extra shots, get on the ice with the goalie coach 45 minutes before practice. Give me more shots. I got to see more pucks. Not only more drills that are very structured, but just slap shots. Give me slap shots from distance. Let me see pucks into my blocker. Let me see them into my glove. Let me get the feel. And the only way you can do that is by actually facing those shots. So getting back onto the ice as early as possible, relative to the schedule, of course, as early as possible, getting as many shots on him as possible, because goalie is a very feel intuitive position. Right now, I know in Canada, a lot of the golfers are probably frustrated. They're on the simulators, right? Unless they're at their place in Florida. But it's the same thing. Goalie is a very feel intuitive position, like golf. And when you don't have those reps, your game's kind of all over the place. So that's all he can do right now. See as many pucks in practice and extra shots as possible to kind of regain that feel.
I should mention you're a former Ottawa 67s goalie, so
Yeah,
that's why you
well,
know this area so well, right?
let me tell you what. Yeah, I got a lot of buddies that still live there. I got a lot of friends that live in the area. I have family that lives in the area. So yeah, no, I love my time with the 67s, man. I wish I was there a little longer, but I love that season. I'm always grateful to the great Mr. Kilray and Peter Lee for trading for me there.
You know, Peter Lee turned 70 the other day. I sent him
I
a
saw
text.
that.
I said, what happened?
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's over in Berlin, right?
Yeah, he's over in Germany. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But I have to ask you, Kevin, they brought in James Reimer.
Yeah,
And I think it's just to stabilize things a little bit. This
for
isn't
sure.
a reflection on Maryline.
No,
He's got, I said this to somebody, he's got 519 more games, Reimer does, than Hunter Shepard.
exactly.
And that's what this is about.
For sure. Listen, it's like anything else. Sometimes you hear some of these things where people will say, well, they're going for a job. Well, have you done this before? What's your experience? Have you been here before? I mean, but how are you going to be a quarterback for the New England Patriots unless you're a quarterback for the New England Patriots?
Yeah.
Like that's just how it goes. So in this case, to your point, for a guy like Maryline, how is he going to have that much experience? The only way he can have it is by playing the games. And you're right. I like the acquisition of James Reimer, who played very well yesterday, by the way.
He did. Yeah.
Rhymes comes in. He brings stability. He's played in the league a long time. He's played in big markets. He knows what it's like. So he's been a part of the Battle of Ontario. He knows what it's like from the Toronto end and playing under those lights. So coming to Ottawa, there's going to be a familiarity. He's a Canadian-born guy. He's from out west. There's nothing that's going to overwhelm him that he hasn't seen. And also his personality, to kind of tie that into his experience, Rhymes has always been an easy guy to be around. He's an easy guy to have in the dressing room. He's relatable. His teammates love playing in front of him. And as you mentioned, probably most importantly, he can calm a game down and help calm the flames down and really be good to this young kid, this Maryline kid. Like, big picture here. Maryline has the opportunity to be a 10-year NHL goalie. Big picture.
Oh, yeah. No, I know it. I know.
Right? He's got the skills.
Yep.
He's got the size. He's a good kid by everything I've heard. And, he's on his development path. So sometimes, I know this from experience, when you get somebody like James Reimer around that can still play, but they're going to be very nice to you, they're going to share their wisdom and experience with you, and they want to see you do well too, that's very reassuring as a young goalie. It's very helpful. When you don't have that, or when that's not the case, and you're in the fire, for some players, some goalies, they never get back on track. It could be really damaging to their career. So I like that move of bringing James Reimer for all those reasons to help stabilize things a little bit there.
Last question. As we speak, the Senators are sitting 6 points out of the final wild card spot in the East. Mm-hmm. What do you think it takes for them to get themselves back in the mix? And not that they're completely out of the mix by any stretch of the imagination, but there's 9 games to the Olympic break, and that's going to say a lot about where everyone's going to finish after.
For sure. Let me preface it with this. I'm a big fan of Travis Green.
Yep.
I played against Travis Green. I loved his style of game. And it's funny, I said this to him earlier in the season. He's a lot calmer now. It's like he's taken the next, and you're laughing because you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it's like right. He's taken the next step in his development as a coach. He seems to be a lot calmer on the bench. He's got a zen to him now. I'm like, what, Greedy, what happened to you? And I asked him that tongue in cheek, and we had a good laugh about it. But I think that's really helpful because he can blend all the experience that he's had, and he's had many as a long-time, very successful player, to then coaching in Portland in the Western League, to then coaching in the Miners Calder Cup, to then coaching in Vancouver and now being here. He's worked with a lot of these young players. And I think one of the keys for this Sens team, to answer you, is for a lot of young players to say, fellas, we've all got our contracts. We're good. We're not chasing our deal to solidify ourselves in the NHL. Because, as young players, you want to prove that you can play. You want to prove that you can play. Then you want to prove that you get a contract. You want to get some stability. Ownership is committed to all of that. So now it's about, guys, how did we play coming down the stretch last year to make the playoffs? Look at the experience we got from being in the Stanley Cup playoffs. I did 4 of those games last year for ESPN in the Battle of Ontario in the first round. It was bananas. It was a great atmosphere. both in Toronto, of course, and in Ottawa, of course. The atmosphere was great. And I like the way the Sens competed in that series. So what's the takeaway? The takeaway is we're not just going to play, try to run our numbers. Let's do what we need to do to make the playoffs. Let's start by defending. Let's start by defending as a team. Let's be good on the penalty kill. Let's not force plays offensively that aren't there. Let's play situational. And I think I'll give you an example. I just did the Tampa game yesterday in Dallas, right?
Yeah.
Tampa had won 11 straight. So we just did the game on the NHL Network. And I got to tell you what, think of the superstars on Tampa and guys that are injured too. Victor Hedman's injured still. McDonough's injured still. Braden Points is injured still. And that was a Stanley Cup preview game. And I got to tell you something. Nikita Kucherov, the great Nikita, he wasn't cheating for chances. Right? He wasn't cheating for chances. He was playing within the rhythm of the game. Once it got to the third period, they locked down Dallas. Dallas only had 2 shots on goal. Same thing. Pucks out, pucks deep. Chip them in, no play there. Safe play, make changes, and they won. So I think those are some things for Ottawa that they did really well down the stretch last year that they need to revisit right now. Yeah. And if they can and they commit to doing those things, I like their team. I like a lot of the pieces that they put together. And I think overall, yes, we have to factor in the goaltending for sure. There's no sugarcoating that. But in addition to that, if they do those things, they give themselves a better chance of winning games. I think this team, conservatively, Bruce, I'm curious to get your thoughts on this. I think they're about 8 to 9 points behind where they're capable of being based on the roster.
100%. I just like if they just had Kevin, if they just some nights had just okay goaltending,
for sure,
they'd be fine. Yeah,
for sure, totally agree. But when the goalies are struggling, you gotta simplify your game a little bit. It kind of goes hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
If the goal, it's just like football. Your quarterback's struggling. Let's go to the running game. Let's go to the run game. Let's get some short yardage situations. So it's kind of similar. But hopefully, for the Sens, James Reimer can help stabilize things. Big picture, like you mentioned, it's nice to see that Allmark's back skating. He's rejoined the team, and hopefully he gets to a place where he feels good enough to rejoin.
Yeah,
and they can make a run because it'd be nice to see them in the postseason again.
Yeah, it would. Listen, we really appreciate your time today, Kevin.
Anytime,
Kevin. This was a great discussion and great perspective on the goaltending because it's been such a topic of conversation here. For Bruce Garrioch, an ESPN and NHL Network analyst, Kevin Weeks, former NHL goalie and former Ottawa 67s goaltender, I'm Bruce Garrioch. Thanks for joining us.